What's up, guys? Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles. Chad's Money Minutes is in the house, as well as JJ. Guys, if you can hear me on this microphone, please let me know. And actually, let me know if you can hear this. For some reason, I feel like on my lives, the microphone has been defaulting to my MacBook, and it's been really tinny and pretty terrible. So if you can hear this, please let me know. So that'll kind of indicate that that's using that and not these terrible MacBook speakers or microphone inside. What's up, guys? It is March 21st, and I have some good news and some bad news. And I actually did a thing today. I executed a redemption, or at least booked it. And I really wanted to talk about that because it's not really like my normal redemptions. So I'll wait a little bit before I get into that. We'll give everybody kind of a few minutes to get in here. I know it's a busy time of year, and especially for my West Coast brothers, 7 o'clock Eastern time zone is a little bit early. JJ says he's at a crossroads. His Amex Gold annual fee just hit. JJ, I am feeling what I haven't even read it yet, but I'm feeling it because mine is going to hit in less than 30 days, and I definitely have a video for that when it happens. But JJ said he tried to get a retention offer, was denied. I want the Saver one, but I'm well over 524 and will probably get denied. I don't see a question here, but if you're asking me if you should apply for it, I'm on the aggressive side. If you want the Saver one, apply for the Saver one. I applied for the Saver one and I got denied. And I called, and the lady told me, try again in 6 months. And I said, lady, I'm not going to try anything in 6 months. I waited about 31 days, tried again, and got approved for the Saver one. And I'm a really big fan of the Saver one. And I also want to talk a little bit more about the Saver one. We have a question in the community post that kind of talks about the Saver one. But JJ, I understand you're on the fence with the gold card. I think everybody is right now. And I think that's a double-edged sword. I think when one creator kind of grabs, hey, I don't like this card anymore, I think it creates more content like that. It changes the way some of us think. But it's also good on the other side because it really does teach us to question everything in our setup. And there was a time when the gold card was, people were saying it was the best card out there. It was their favorite card. It was their workhorse, which is stupid saying, but because it doesn't work. You just swipe it. But now a lot of people are saying, hey, man, I'm tired of these monthly credits that don't actually save me as much money as I thought they did. People are kind of aggravated with American Express at the moment with their behavior when it comes to pop-up jail and things like that. So if you're feeling, some type of way of canceling the gold card, I understand, brother, but you have to have something to take that card's replacement. What are you going to use besides the gold card? Because no matter how much we cry and moan about the gold card, and no matter how much we talk about the things we don't like, there's only one gold card. There is no other card out there that can do what the gold card does. So kind of a long-winded answer that says, hey man, I feel your pain. Stephen Lynch is here. What's up, man? Stoked for the stream. I am too, man. I was really, really tired all day, and now all of a sudden, full of energy. I'm feeling the energy from you guys. I'm feeling the Hulkamaniacs, all that good stuff. Rob H says perfect timing. He just sat down for some private time. Chad Pennycuff just got the Blue Business Preferred with the 50,000 Amex MR point bonus. Nice work, Chad. Very nice work. Love that card. It's the glue that keeps everything together. We have Phil Mo, my man. JJ, Phil Mo got the Saver one at 924 with 12 inquiries. So yeah, Capital One, man, we can try to pretend like we know what Capital One's doing, but you don't. None of us do. Like they are on another planet. So my strategy with Capital One is I don't work off of them. I do what I do, and they do what they can do about it. to quote my man Lil Wayne. Juan Garcia. Juan from the MIA. Yes, sir. You know, we love South Florida around here. You're pretty close to Chad's Money Minutes. Hopefully, I get to see Chad's Money Minutes in July when we go down to South Florida. Lynn's Rideshare Hustle. 75,000 American Airlines bonus on the personal card. Nice work, sir. I'm going to be talking about American Airlines miles here pretty soon because I just did a thing with American Airlines and I'm kind of strangely proud of myself. Chad Pennycuff just finished the Saver sub in a month. Chad, you have the Saver, not the Saver One. Yeah, Saber probably kicks butt at the Disney stuff, right? Ian Mashal. Love the gold card, but those are his top two categories. Hey, Ian, I'm the same way, man. They're both my top two categories, and I still question whether it's right for me. Oscar Bozdemir. Oscar Bozdemir. What are we? A Swedish? What? I know there's a Ozdemir. That's a Swedish guy or not Swiss. I mean, there's a Swiss Ozdemir. Are you Swiss Bozdemir? I'm very curious. Or is it Middle Eastern? He just applied for Saber One rewards and got denied. He's got an excellent credit score. Yeah, I mean, Osgar, it's one of those things where, sorry, like I said, we can't figure out Capital One. No one can. Maybe when they merge with Discover, they'll have some set expectations and rules that we can kind of guidelines we can go by. Julius, hey, Luke, have you picked up an underdog credit card and managed to make it work in the big league? Listen, yes. There's I don't want to spoil what I want to talk about later, but I think an underdog credit card is the City Premier card. It does have an annual fee you really can't mitigate, although you can if you want to book a hotel. I booked my Panama hotel with my City Premier, and I got that $100 credit. So you can mitigate it, but I want to talk a little bit about City later and some of the things you can do with that City Premier. And it kind of circles back to, our questions about the gold card. Is the City Premier a viable alternative? Oh, Chad's already got the hotel reserved. Love it. Can't wait to see you, man. We need to get some cigars, some of those fruity adult beverages, and enjoy that sun down there, man. I can't wait. Yeah, Chad Pennycuff says Saber gets 4 times on the theme parks. He's a big time theme park guy. Jay from the Bay says, thumbs up, guys. Show Luke some love. Yes, please. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Catch now, Jay. Are you going to WrestleMania? I'm not going to WrestleMania. I do like wrestling, but I have not been able to keep up on any programs, and I haven't been able to keep up on wrestling at all lately. But don't get me wrong, I'm not hating. I'm a big fan, especially the early 2000s. That was the Attitude Era, Stone Cold, and yeah, I would like to go to a WrestleMania. I've never been. But yeah, Julius, I think the City Premier is a underdog, and I think some of these credit union cashback cards are underdogs that can really complement your setup really well. Not be your main card, but a 5% cashback card in certain categories when you're in that kind of state where you don't have to stack points. That 5% cashback, I think, is not popular with most of my audience. But I think it's a good underdog that could be big time. All right. Here we go. Ricky's travel hacking. He burned a 524 slot for the Venture X. Figured it's easy to get the Venture X now. Yeah, you're right, man. I don't blame you. I don't really care about 524. But if I was newer, okay, Osgar Bozdemir's from Turkey. Nice. Love Turkey. Went there a lot when I was super young. Haven't been there in a long time. But yeah, Ricky, I don't blame you for burning a slot. I think I'm big on the Venture X right now. I really am. You can probably tell I've done, a few videos on it. I actually used it today to pay the taxes and fees on some flights that I'm going to talk about here in a little while. Cesar Joel has a family of 4. He's got to have the gold card, baby. Now, I get it. Absolutely. I eat like a family of four, but right now we're down to three with some part timers. You older dads know what I mean by that. Francis Yoon says greetings and salutations. Hello. Hello, Francis. And don't call me Francis. If you recognize that line, drop it in the comments. Juan Garcia, South Florida. We went over that. Yeah. Okay. So Rob H says I gave him some Alaska business card info a while back, and his wife, he says they double banged and got a 75,000 point bonus each. That's nice, man. That's those Alaskan miles are nice. They have that new partnership with Built, so you can start earning them a little easier now. But Alaska miles, and we're going to talk about Alaska miles here in a little while. If City, okay, so Pad says if City could have American Airlines as transfer partner, it would be game over. Listen to me. I'm not predicting that City is going to get American Airlines. All I'm saying is I think in 2024, City is going to get American Airlines. Maybe I'm just being optimistic, and I'm not predicting anything. I don't have any insider knowledge, but I do think that City is going to hit us with a card with travel protections and American Airlines as a transfer partner, and they are going to shake it up. They are absolutely. A lot of people into the game now don't remember when they had the City Prestige, and it was one of the most overpowered travel cards in the game. It went away, but I would not. I would believe that City learned their lesson from making it a little too OP, and they're going to bring us something really good soon. I don't know when, but I do think American Airlines comes to City, and I think that does. I think you're right. That does change the game. I don't think it's game over. I think it heats up the competition in a really good way. Cesar has the City cards. He's got the trifecta in less than 3 months. Man, how do you do that? Because they won't approve me. They really don't approve. I think I had to apply for the Premier 3 times. Ding dong, hello. WM42 coming in to Minneapolis. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, Juan Garcia says that's the bottom line. You guys that remember Stone Cold, he was the best, man. He was so you in that era of WWF or WWE, you could laugh for almost 3 hours straight. You could laugh for 2.5 hours and never stop. Your belly would hurt from laughing so much. Keith S. says he's waiting for an elevated sub for the City Premiere before he applies. I think that's a good idea. And I think if you're close to whatever their parameters are, I think they're a little more lenient during a elevated sub. I think all of them are. Bose Demir, do you think that Wells Fargo will increase their travel partner portfolio? Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. They're going to get the partners everybody has, and they're going to get, I think they're going to get something unique. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. I think Wells Fargo is putting a serious effort into this. Whether they'll be successful or not, I don't know. And I'll be honest, man, being almost inside this game, I think the only way to compete with the big kids is to have a very strong referral program and reach out to people that talk about this sort of. I don't use the term influencers, but I don't think you can be competitive without a good, strong referral program and the encouragement of people to talk about it. Just the way it is, man. Do you guys really think these YouTubers would be screaming about Chase and loving on Chase if they didn't have a really strong referral program? I don't know. I don't know. Nothing against anybody that gets referrals, because I do too. Michael Pythia, my man, I want to find a world where I upgrade my CSP to the reserve, but I still can't justify the last two. Listen, Michael, me and you, dude, I talk about this almost every day in my own brain. I'm a victim of the CSR marketing machine. The colors, blue's my favorite color. It conveys trust. The fact that it's 1.5 cents per point in that portal, that I'll never use. You guys saw my video on the CSR. It's easy to clown. And the magic of the CSR is I can clown it for 20 minutes in a video, and I still want it. I still want it, and I don't know if I'll ever use it. So I feel you, Michael. Fortunately for me, I can get the card and make it make sense because of the channel, and I can talk about it, and I can get that experience, and then maybe a year later say why I got rid of it. So I get it, man. It's tough. Matt Poxa, big couple weeks, wrapped up the Ink Preferred 100,000 sub offer and got approved for the Built and the Venture X. Matt, you are killing it. Good luck with, well, I guess the Built doesn't have a sub, but man, you're killing it. Those are three solid cards. Yeah, Gilbrand Espinoza. It's Airplane. I think where Francis is the guy in the Army, the John Candy Army, the Stripes. And you're thinking of Don't Call Me Shirley. Yeah, Rob H has got it. If you call me Francis, I'll kill you. Lighten up, Francis. They got Lighten Up, Francis. I remember that. Yeah. Mr. Espinosa just got back from a 2-week trip in Italy. That's big time. Went to Florence and Rome, and the Hilton Aspire was so clutch with the free breakfast, upgrades, and resort credits. You heard it here, guys. Best thing about these lives is the communication and the community itself. If you are wondering if a person is getting good value on some of these trips, Gilbrand Espinoza just told us the Aspire was clutch. We all know what the numbers say. We all know that technically, math-wise, it makes sense. Gilbrand is telling you that in real life, it changed his trip. Thanks for the data point, Gilbrand. Philmo is looking at Prague for an NHL game in October. Got to rewatch your redemption. Hey, Prague is fantastic. Great trip to do. I'd like to go back. First, I'd like to take my wife there. My wife would really like it. Prague is super cool. That part of the world, to me, is super cool. Good luck with that, man. Ian Mascow, in your opinion, what's the proper card to start with for City? Whichever one you want. I would see the good thing about City is you can generally product change across families. So if you have a car, most of them, there are exceptions. Like I started out with City, I got the American Airlines personal MasterCard. A year later, when the annual fee hit, because the first year is free, the annual fee hit, I product changed to a City Custom Cash. So I think that's a good thing with City. But if I had to start with one, I'd probably just go big, man, the Premier. Julius is going to slap themselves for not getting the Prestige. Yeah, no kidding. It was the Michael Jordan and the credit card. It was the City Prestige was, when you say big league, you were talking about the Prestige. Gilbrand says Air France business class round trip. Amazing. And look for an excuse to fly them again. That's nice. I did Air France's business class, and I did like it, but I did not love it. John's in the house. What's up, John? I liked Singapore Airlines quite a bit better, but I do need to do Air France's newer product. So we'll see how that goes. Ricky's Travel Hacking says he thinks for City, go with the AA co-branded cards to get the subs and then PC them to thank you point earning cards. I think that's a great strategy because American Airlines miles are very valuable. Pahad wants City to replace their Chase trifecta. Man, City is a place that doesn't get any love outwardly, but we all know they're pretty big time. Poopin' Turtle, CSR, $1.25, pay yourself back at gas stations for gift cards might be a thing. I'm not interested. Yeah, I'm just not interested. I guess if you were using a 5 times card to transfer those over to the CSR and then getting 5.25 on 5 times, it might make sense. Even then, why are we getting travel points if we're cashing them out? Because there are better cards for cash. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that, but I can understand it. James Chafin, thanks for the last video on Redstone Federal Card. Waiting on mine to get in the mail now. Hey, I'm still waiting on mine, buddy. The Redstone Federal Card is big time. If you didn't watch that video, check it out. It's I think it says I got a new card, might be the best in the game. A little bit vague, a little bit clickbaity, which I don't do, but I also don't get the amount of views the clickbaiters get. So maybe I tried a little bit of clickbait now and again. And I think that video did pretty good for a cashback credit card. Tyler Hart, what are your thoughts on the new Chase Inc. cash welcome offer? I like the idea of splitting up in 2 increments. I think it's good because you might like it. For me, I don't care. I don't care. For me, with an Ink card, especially with an Ink cash card, I'm going to, if you like tripled the bonus and the spend requirement, I'd still do it. I'd do it no matter what it was. But yeah, I still think it only makes sense if you're going all the way. I take that back. It's a free card. Getting the first tranche is just fine. But I'll be getting both those for sure. Uh-oh. Bose Demir subscribed and following. Thank you, sir. And maybe one day I'll see you in Turkey. Yeah, Chad Pennycuff says stripes. Francis. Manor wants to know how to get out of Amex jail. Spend with American Express, man. I think you need patience. You need to be the right customer. And I'm also starting to believe this. If you're not the right customer for American Express, I don't think you can fake it anymore. American Express wants dudes spending on those cards and going through those credit cycles. If you're not doing that, I don't know if they want you anymore. Chad's Money Minute says the Aspire in Italy is, in fact, top notch. He used his at Lake Como. That's big time. Chad, if you haven't watched Chad's channel, let me give him a shout out because I give out the shout outs to the dudes who walk the walk as well as talk the talk. Chad is executing some big time redemptions, and I wish he would, he's doing a lot of content right now, but I wish he would focus back on the redemptions because he had a way to do it, and he does a lot of them, and it makes him really stand out in that space because him and his wife are on Air France, going to Paris, going to Lake Como. I love those videos that he does. Dong Kim's in the house, the man with the coolest name in the credit card game. Big Dong. Florence is amazing. I believe that. I don't think I've ever been to Florence. Did Aunt Connie get new socks yet? Aunt Connie, believe it or not, probably has more socks than any of us. She can't keep them on. Or she can't keep them on. Ara says, let me see here. CSR, Ritz, or Chase Inc. preferred in Ritz? Man, here's the thing. I'm not sold on that Ritz card. I know it's the new, well, it's not the new thing. I know it's trending, and the internet has everybody wanting to get a card so they can product change in a year. I'm just not. I think the CSR is superior to the Ritz card. And I also think if you're looking at it from a hotel standpoint, that was it the Bonvoy Brilliant from American Express is superior to the Ritz-Carlton card. Just my opinions. But I don't stay at Marriott's. So I do stay at Ritz-Carlton's once in a while. But I don't really worry about getting Marriott benefits at Ritz-Carlton because they don't follow most of the rules. They ignore a lot of those Marriott status things. Ignore the C and you got a Posa. Okay, Posa. I like that. Matt Posa. On the Built MasterCard, I got 5 for 5 days offer. Had a big payment due, so I maxed it. There you go. 62,000 points in 5 days. There you go. Nice work. Are there any all-inclusive resorts through Hyatt that allow families? Yes. I went to Dreams in Cancun, the Cancun area. It's not Cancun. But Mexico has a ton of Hyatts that are family-oriented. And pretty good value, I think, even though I did spend a truckload of Hyatt points. JP Knowledge is in the house, my man. If you haven't seen JP Knowledge's channel, another dude that does not just talk the talk. He's out there living this life in a much bigger way than I am. So definitely check him out. He is doing all the cool stuff. Joshua NG, RIP, 5% back on gas and groceries on the Chase Freedom cards. They took down the bonus of the referral links. Okay, well, may they rest in peace. They'll be back in 8 months, I guess. Tacos. Loves me some tacos. Jake Vanderplog. What's up, Luke? What's up, Jake? Lynn's Ride Shares still wants to do the meetup in Japan. We'll see, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. My wife's not home, so I have to actually look at my phone if it makes a noise. Make sure she's okay. Lynn, we're going to do a meetup in Japan. I just don't know when yet. Tim McDonald says he has 3 Aspire cards. I have 2. You have more than me. Taking the family to Hilton. Can you use all resort credits if you stay? Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know. Can you? That'll be tricky. I think you would have to charge something on it in June and July, unless you're checking out and checking back in. I don't know that you can do that or not, unless you maybe you charge some meals at the restaurant with the card. If you figure it out, man, let us know. I'm interested. I don't quite have my next trip that close. I used the credits in Texas in February last month, and I'm going to use the rest of them when I meet Chad's Money Minutes down there in July. Jackson Drake is in Amex pop-up jail. Yeah, well, let's give Amex some time because I still believe in them. I just think they're going through a phase. Thoughts on Puerto Vallarta? Heading there in a few days. I don't know anything about Puerto Vallarta. Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't even give you an opinion on it. Oh, T.O. Rico says he went to the Sea Fire in November and he can't wait to go back. I'm going in like 2 weeks or a week and a half. We can't wait to go. I'm glad you had a good time. I hope you got a good redemption. Oh, I did want to mention that. See, T.O. Rico, I did a video on the Sea Fire Resort. It's a Kimpton in Grand Cayman. And I stopped to look today on how much the cash price would be on my 4 nights there that we're taking in April. $9,800 for 4 nights. And when you hold the credit card, the IHG credit card, you get your 4th night free. So it only cost me 210,000 IHG points. And I don't know what the value is. You could do the math, but $9,800 or 210,000 IHG points that people say are, underpriced. It's all about how you use them, guys. Charles Holt is in the house. That's my son. It doesn't look like my son in the picture, but hello, Charles. Charles is going to be up here. If you have a question for Carlos, put it down there and let me know, and we will get him up here when he's done with his nightly routine. And he's actually got some news for you guys. You guys have asked him in the past what his favorite trip was, and he's always said Ireland. So he's got something to tell you about Ireland, I think. What's a perk that isn't offered on a credit card that you would use? That's a great question. I never really thought about it. I'll try to come back. Don't come in here like that. Is your mom here? No. Okay, wrap that up. Sorry, guys. Carlos is here for his question. If you guys have any, I'm going to scroll down. I'll come back up. Question for Carlos. What will be your first credit card? You already have one, don't you? He actually has a Capital One Venture X. And he has a Chase debit card. He's in the junior Chase group where he has a bank account. And he has a Chase debit card and a Capital One Venture X. He's an authorized user. Capital One doesn't have an age requirement for authorized users. What's wrong? You running?
Yeah.
What question? Do we have any more questions for Carlos while he's up here? Carlos in the chat, next big YouTuber. Are you going to be a YouTuber? All right.
Hopefully.
All right. Carlos, are you excited for opening day of baseball? He's on the Reds this year. All right. What's your favorite roller coaster? You don't do roller coasters. Yeah. All right. He doesn't do those. Not yet. All right. So downstairs, boy.
right when you said when I'm done with my nightly routine, I'll come
You were
home.
done.
Yeah, I was already done. I was downstairs, and then I immediately turned my tablet off and sprinted up here.
Nice. Thank you, Carlos.
Welcome.
All right. I'm sorry. Where are we here? Um, Key is going to check out Chad's channel. Absolutely. I'm sorry, guys. What perk? Okay. I'll have to get back with you on that. I'm not sure. Uh, Chad is the glue that keeps the credit card community together. He is. Chad's the dad. Chad's either the dad or the pawpaw. If I'm Uncle Luke, let's put Chad as the pawpaw. I'm not sure if he's old enough to be paw. He might be old enough to be pawpaw technically. Yeah. IHG, Barrel Star. Those are okay. JP Knowledge. The ink cards are easy to hit either way. You're right. I mean, 0% interest. Yeah, like he said, pay your future bills. For the ink cards, that's what I do. I pay for the ink cash. I might pay my cell phone for 6 months. I might pay um, the cable bill for 6 months because it's 5% or 5 times on all that stuff. The ink cash is just too easy. I mean, I think it's one of the most valuable cards in the game. John Feeney, Luke, is it worth Amex Fine Hotels for Las Vegas? That you have to ask me that later, man, because I used to be really big on the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, and right now, as I sit here, I'm not because that whole booking a super nice 5-star kind of hotel with cash, it used to be really appealing to me. And I just booked a Holiday Inn in October, so things are changing for me a little bit. I don't know if I really love that program. Is it worth it for Las Vegas? Absolutely. You have to go when the rooms are fairly cheap, and you can definitely get that value out of it, especially if you have some type of status to offset that resort fee. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. Chad Pennycuff's going to Japan 2026. I don't think Lynn can wait that long. Sean Thurston says he read about free cruises through credit cards. I think you're going to be really talking about the Wyndham Business Earner Card, and I don't have a whole lot of information off the top of my head about that, but yeah, I would. You could do some searching and find out all that good stuff, and people get tons and tons of value from those cruises. Jake recently started a job that includes quite a bit of travel. Honestly, it's a cheat code for getting status and rewards. Got the next level of Marriott status with just 2 trips. Jake, it's a cheat code, but man, if you're spending time away from home, you deserve any kind of benefit you can get out of that for sure. I don't like to travel a whole lot for work. Obama fangirl, what's the best premium travel card to sub churn on? Got a trip coming up where I can crush on a sub. Obama fangirl. Um, what can you churn? Oh my goodness! Somebody just Silky Johnson just dropped a 20 piece on us. Thank you, sir. He says thank you for the heartfelt advice about the Etihad Capital One bonus. I think I'm going to do it. Silky Johnson is talking about taking his significant other first class at Etihad, and I think they'll really enjoy that. Also, thanks for the Hilton and Marriott wisdom. Leave it up to the misses to pick the Ritz or the Waldorf. There you go, man. You have to give them at least some chance, to be involved. Thank you, sir, for the 20 spot. I absolutely appreciate it. And guys, there's 121 of you in the chat right now. You could be anywhere else, but you're listening to us and communicating with us and getting along with us, and I appreciate it. And if you would please just hit that like button. Churnable credit cards. I'm not much of a churner, so I'm not really sure how to give you the best advice on that. But when I hear churning, I think of the Chase Ink business cards. I think you can get as many as you want. I mean, and you can get those so fast. If I was to churn a set of cards, it would be the Chase Ink business cards, and I would churn all of them, and I have. Do I value rental car status at all? Yeah, I value it some. I just don't rent very many cars. That might change. Um, I don't rent very many cars because I don't have any money. So I got $20 now, but I do plan on renting some. So we'll see how that goes. But even even whatever the Capital One gives you the status with whatever it is, President's Circle, whatever. I did that to rent a car for my Malta trip, and the big catch is the big perk is a upgrade. I don't think they have anything to upgrade me to on Malta. It's like a little island. I'm going to get like a little clown car, so I don't know if it'll be a big deal for me there. Um, when we do talk about this next redemption, I may rent a car there. So we'll see. Jake Vanderplong, love that shirt. Hey, you guys know Mountain Hardware? I used to be a really big time backpacker. That was one of my big hobbies for a lot of years. And Mountain Hardware is kind of like North Face before North Face became a fashion company. Back when North Face was hardcore in the outdoor scene, Mountain Hardware was kind of like their equivalent or competitor. Where are we here? Okay, JP Knowledge. How much money, excluding hotels and flights, do you think you spend a day on trips? I know you. I wish I was organized enough to give you even an idea, but I don't know. Per person on trips, it's hard because in November we did an all inclusive, didn't spend any money. Um, when I went to Panama in January, I did spend, and I took my dad, so I spent with him. Um, where else did I go? JP, I don't know, man. I mean, here's how I look at spending on a trip. I don't look at that as any different than spending here at home. I have to eat. I have to be entertained. I might buy I don't even buy souvenirs, but I might buy a souvenir. So I don't even really keep track of that money because I usually just keep it. It's usually the same as when I'm here. So I know that's a terrible answer, but I'm just not that organized with my money to give you a real answer. Chad Pennycuff says the Altitude Reserve is the best card for cruises. That whole Apple Wallet, man, I understand the math behind it and the facts behind it, but I'm telling you right now, I don't even know when I've used mobile wallet. I do it for gas. That's the only thing I ever use it for. Now I know I can change my behavior and make that work, but I don't know. In my opinion, that one is a trend and it's a bit overrated. But people are killing it with it, and it also doesn't have transfer partners. So I know you're getting a ton of points that you can get a bonus in the portal for travel, but I like the points thing, and I'm gonna tell you why here in just a little while. Okay, let me talk about what I did today. So Carlos, when you ask him, what's your favorite trip you've been on? Carlos always says Ireland. And we did Ireland for 6 days, and we did it in a way that we tried to do way too much too fast, and we didn't really do it correctly. We drove a lot. We didn't have enough time to enjoy it. So he has a week off school in the fall, and we always planned to do something in that week. I think last year, I don't remember. Last year we did something, but so I was messing around on seats.arrow today, and kind of what I do during the day. If I'm not doing anything, I might look for different award flights. But I saw a deal with American Airlines, uh, North America to Dublin, Ireland, for 19,000 American Airlines miles and $5. Now, normally I wouldn't even consider economy, obviously. But normally I wouldn't even consider that because that's a good deal, but not something I'm interested in. Here's why it was different. North America to Dublin, it wasn't JFK to Dublin or Washington Dulles to Dublin or Boston to Dublin. It was my home airport, Columbus to Dublin for 19,000 American Airlines miles. If you guys remember, last year I used the American Airlines shopping portal and the dining program and all that good stuff to kind of artificially move up the status. But as I was doing that, I was also accumulating a bunch of American Airlines miles. So I thought to myself, I said, man, I don't really want to ride in economy. But that's a great deal. And it's an overnight flight, so I'm not going to have the best time anyway, even in business class. So I booked it. And it was such a good deal. I booked my wife, me, and my son. I called my wife when I was at work and I said, "Hey, I just booked this for 19,000 American airline miles. How many AA miles do you have?" So she has a American Airlines card, and she has said, "Told me, I said, you might want to ask your older kids if they want to go." Now they've never been out of the country. They're also young adults, so super busy, hard to get off work, all that good stuff. But I said, you know what? This is too good of a deal. Why don't you call them and see if they want to do it? So they said yes. So we booked 5 tickets, 5 award tickets for very cheap. And you know how I have to do it, man. I have to get the calculator out and I have to actually validate to myself if this is a good deal. I don't have the hard numbers in front of me, but the 3 tickets were $28 cash value, $2,800 in cash, and 19,000 AA points, AA miles each. It came out to like 4.58 cents per point. So what I want to get to is you can get tremendous value from American airline miles, even in economy classes. And it really does almost render that 1.5 in the portal kind of silly. I mean, that might be good to go visit grandma in Indiana or something, but for what we're doing in this game, if you have several different ways to redeem, you have a chance to get tremendous value every time. Now, I'm not done with that. I have another story about that. I did something a little new. So we had flights there. How do we get back? So I had all these British Airways Avios parked in British Airways. And you always think, well, I've had a lot of flights canceled, but I don't like having them sit there. So I tried the same thing. I tried to see if there was an American Airlines flight that was a deal all the way to Columbus. And I really couldn't find that. But what I found was I found 3 seats on one flight and then 2 on the other. They were about 4 hours apart. So I asked my wife, I said, "Do you think your kids would care if they're by themselves?" And then I thought, rookie international travelers might not be the best scenario for them to kind of navigate that by themselves. So I ended up calling British Airways, and I got 5 award tickets on British Airways. Well, through British Airways, Dublin to JFK to Columbus. The first leg is on Aer Lingus, which for us would be kind of cool because we've never flown Aer Lingus, and the second leg on American. Those were for 5 tickets, 100,000 British Airways Avios that I know I originally transferred over to BA with a 30% bonus. I haven't worked out that cash price yet, but that's probably more than the original cash price. And again, economy seats, we're getting between 4.5 and probably over 5 cents per point just in economy class, and 5 award seats. That's great. Bobby Yakusa, thank you, sir, for the 2 spot. Appreciate it. Better late than never. You're never late, buddy, as long as you're here. Thank you, sir. So that is, and thank you again, Bobby. Appreciate it, man. That is what I did today. And I thought, you know what? Since we tried to do so much in that first Ireland trip, this is my strategy this time. I booked 2 rooms, 2 nights at the Holiday Inn in Dublin. So very economical stays, 30,000 IHG points per night, and then 2 rooms. So the plan will be we're going to fly to Dublin. We're going to rest when we get there because we're going to be beat. We're going to do 2 nights in Dublin, and then we're going to go completely off the cuff. We're going to go completely, unplanned and just go do whatever we want to do. And I really can't wait for that. It's going to be so fun. All right, so now I want to get back to the chat. Tell me what you think of that redemption. It is a economical, budget-friendly redemption, but it's kind of what I have to do as a family man sometimes. I can't find 5 business class award seats. Rob H with the 20 spot. Good grief, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Absolutely. We are killing it tonight. John coming in with the 5 spot. And he says that's big league. I go, Silky Johnson with a 10 spot. Okay, we're getting out of hand, guys. Save your money. Save your money. You're all too kind. Silky Johnson says he's a redemption first timer. Do I put the taxes and fees on the Amex Platinum or the Venture X or my Etihad Red for the Etihad redemption? It does qualify for the times 5, but let me speak on that real quick. If you dig into the terms and conditions of both the Platinum card and the Venture X, I don't think you can make a wrong decision. But technically speaking, some of the travel protections on the Platinum are for round trip tickets. However, they view any trip that comes back to the same place as a round trip. So if you are booking one way and then another one way, as long as it comes back to the same place, they're going to consider that a round trip. Venture X, I just did a video about their travel protections. I don't think you can lose either way. You'll get more points for the Amex Platinum, and I think the Amex Platinum comes with baggage delay, and I think that's something that's not included on the Venture X. So I just booked mine with the Venture X because it was a one-way, and I had no idea where I was going to fly back to. But I think you can do the Platinum just fine. And I think for a lot of years, that's what I used. But Silky Johnson, thank you, sir. And thank every single one of you. Bobby Yakuza, Rob H., John, Silky Johnson. Thank you, guys. You are too kind. Let me try to get back to the chat because I think I think you guys just killed it with the money. Chad's Money Minutes says he's going to work on some more redemptions when he gets the points built back up. He emptied the war chest for his 9 cents per point for the sweets flight for him and the wife. Listen, man, it's big time husband stuff. Chad is not only a big time credit card YouTuber, he's a big time husband. Good job, dude. So David Williams says got built and it's garbage. It lets people know I'm a renter instead of an owner. Bad status symbol. I don't think that's true, man. Any sub would have been better. I'm not going to argue with you, but I think the renter part, I think that's an old school way of thinking. And I think a lot of people understand that for some people, renting is a better move. Where I live in the Midwest, it's almost always going to be advantageous to buy your house. And I know people argue, well, it's more flexible. I can just get up and leave. I can get up and leave too. I can rent this place out and make a ton of money. But I'm into that. If you're not, I get it. Taylor Hart, do you ever get stressed out when making larger redemptions? I just booked a long trip in Europe that needed 6 or 7 different points transfers, and I was exhausted after doing it. Taylor, every one of these things gives me a huge headache. I had to call British Airways because you couldn't book this online. And I was on the phone with British Airways for a half an hour just to book a flight. And it's not complete yet. They took my 100,000 Avios, and then someone is going to call me for the taxes and fees. That's kind of weird. And I'm hoping they do call me because as of right now, I don't have a ticket or a confirmation. So I guess I do have a confirmation. But yeah, I wouldn't use the term stressed out because no, I don't get stressed out. Nobody in my family would even care if we didn't go anywhere. I guess. So but I do get a headache trying to make things work. And it's hard for me to, I wanted to go somewhere in October. Well, I probably should not have booked this now because I should have waited until the NFL football schedule came out, because maybe there was a game that the boy wanted to go or an away game we wanted to go to. And now we're going to be in Ireland. So I like to have everything planned out as much as I can because it helps with my earnings part of it. Right now, all my redemptions are booked solid through maybe the rest of the year. So that allows me to do a cash back injection and maybe kind of pivot and see what kind of points I want to earn in the future. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It is that many different moving parts on one trip. You have to be a special kind of nerd. And I do get it. Yeah, and Chad says you work so hard for those points, it's hard to let them go. I will say this: I do not want those points. I am if I see 100,000 points in my account, I want them out. I want them booked away and gone. Even if I do cancel that booking, I just want them out. I want them working because I don't want them to get devalued. Uh, inward Inward Singing says Mountain Harbor makes great gear and they're on the AA shopping portal. Absolutely, man. Um, no, Chad Penny. No, I do use Apple Wallet, but I don't. I don't very rarely pay for anything with my phone. I gas is probably the only thing. I just don't. Luke, what is your strategy for hotel bookings when events cause surges to the nightly rates? I want to go to Formula One in Miami and Vegas, but finding a good and reasonable priced hotel seems hard. Yeah, that's tough, man. You have Hyatt's the only one with an award chart, right? So everybody else is dynamic pricing. Normally, I think when they do that, you still get a good points redemption, and I think what helps at that is to have a diverse set of points. Like I have IHG, Choice, and Hilton points. Normally, I can get I'm sorry, guys. Normally, I can get a good value with one of those. Okay, I'm sorry. Apologies. Um, yeah, I think your best bet there is to have a lot of different ways to execute that redemption. More than one points ecosystem, maybe a portal, try the portal, or if push comes to shove, you use cash. But in that case, you're not going to want to use cash because it's inflated. So, points diversity, which I'm a big fan of. Oh boy. Let me see. Yeah, YouTube experiment says everywhere doesn't take mobile wallet. I just don't use it that much. Here's the thing, I don't spend my own money. I don't I have a way for that. Yeah, Pod says flying for a long time. I imagine in economy pretty much sucks, but if you have a lot of people there, it might go a little better. We're flying economy on the way home too. So Citizen Zero says, "Don't be ashamed of me, Luke. I just spent 68,000 miles on a domestic round trip." Listen, Citizen Zero, I've been there. I get it. I have looked at those domestic economy prices and said, "What the heck, man? I could fly to Germany for less than that. I could fly to Amsterdam for half of that." It's just part of the game, man. You're not going to get. I know us YouTube guys, we do argue over cents per point a lot, but I think we all agree you can't get crazy value every time. So if you do have redemptions that aren't big league, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, I just argue that if there are ways for you to get much more value, you should probably take a look at those. And if you're getting less value for your points than you would from a cashback setup, why are you paying these annual fees and talking about like you're doing something? Nifty Ninja, Luke level finesse. MR says he might have to start using Sonesta hotels for his new job. Anyone have any good info about them and their plan? No, but they have a plan. And here's the thing, man. People bag on me when I talk about choice. You can get some great value with choice. I've seen some really, really great located Best Westerns, and Best Western has a program. So, like I said, they don't have a referral program, and YouTubers don't have an incentive to talk about them. And half these YouTubers don't travel anyway. But Sonesta might be, I mean, it's probably not great, but if you're going there for work, you might find some good. If you do see some good stuff, bring it up and maybe we'll do some videos on it or something. Oh boy, everything just, I'm thinking way. All right. Oh, Chad Pennycuff says, in my humble opinion, oh man, my thing move. You guys are killing it in the comments. CSR is the best card with travel insurance. I know you get full coverage for paying with points. Yeah, and I will say that the CSR does have great travel protections, and that is the trump card for that card. That is the number one reason to have it. If you don't need all those insurances, then you really don't need that CSR unless you're taking advantage of those really weird, obscure coupons. Call me Lonnie's in the house. What's up, my man? I think Lonnie is traveling at the moment. So safe travels, Lonnie. Ricky missed part of the Dublin redemption, not for sure if it's something. Yeah, you're right. Aer Lingus does fly Dublin to Cleveland. Yeah. I had some problems with Aer Lingus. Their website, you're supposed to be able to redeem your Avios on the Aer Lingus website now, and it's not quite ready. So I wasn't able to book it on Aer Lingus. And this is funny. I know you can transfer your BA Avios to Aer Lingus, but for some reason, I can't. They want me to call 3 or 4 different people, and it must be because my information isn't exactly the same on both programs. So I wanted to get rid of those Avios. I didn't want to transfer more in, so I kind of took the easier option there. Manuel Jimenez has an AA card coming. That's a nice card. I think everybody should get it, and then product change it to some other city card after a year. John Baker said he just got the Venture X. Good, man. That Venture X, I think, is a big league card. I like talking about it. I just think it works. I think it works for just about anyone. And I think it's easy to fit in anybody's kind of portfolio. The 2X on everything else, I think, just fits. And here's something I wanted to bring up. I'll get through some of these comments first, but I do want to bring up Capital One and Citi transfer partners. Nick says, curious how you and Call Me Lonnie think about United allowing you to combine points to friends and family members no cost. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. There's no one I'm not going to share with anybody. Would it be easier if my wife could send me the points like she does with Chase? Yeah, but I don't think it's it's a nice. I mean, as far as the technological advancement that you can do that and do it easy is great, but not a big deal for me. Ara says they like the CSR and a $300 travel credit, but they think it's better value in the Ritz with the travel incidental credit. Nah, not me. I'm not calling Chase to get anything credited. Won't happen. $300 isn't enough for me to call Chase to ask for money. I know it's silly, but I hate using the phone. I hate calling. And I don't like the CSR $300 travel credit because they're just giving me the money back I gave them. I hate that system where I give you $550 and you give me $300 in prepaid travel. No, thank you. Yeah, Chad's Money Minute says Sonesta has some nice properties. They do, absolutely. Filmo is taking Southwest Companion Pass flight next week. That's a great program. Great program. Companion Pass, I mean, not Southwest. Matt, I know you told me Posa. Matt Posa says he's staying at the Best Western in San Fran in a couple weeks, 2 nights for half the price. Listen, Best Western has hotels in Dubai. They have them close to South Beach. Best Western is no. I mean, obviously they have some not so great properties, but don't sleep on Best Western. Ian says, can a YouTuber make a living by turning referral bonuses into cash back? I mean, my card link in my description pays cash. So if you're a partner with someone who has a card link, a lot of those referrals aren't just referral points and stuff within that card, but they actually pay a cash referral rate. So if somebody was really good at selling cards or making or influencing people to get, I don't know what you want to call it. Yeah, they could make a living. Personally, I don't make a ton of money on that. Something I should probably get better at. But I like to trash these cards too much. Even the ones I like, I trash a little bit. But yes, Ian, a YouTuber can possibly make a living. But if you're talking about regular credit card referrals, like from the referral you get from Chase, no, because they're capped. You wouldn't be able to get enough to. No, you wouldn't be able to do that. Michael Pythium, any ideas on the Alaska redemption? Michael, if you look at my video on the Alaskan business card I just did a few weeks ago, I mentioned some and now I can't remember, but they have a ton of stuff on Cathay Pacific. So you would use Alaska miles to fly Cathay Pacific, and you can do first class to Hong Kong. You can do, I think you can do the North America to Europe by way of a Hong Kong stopover with Alaskan miles. And that's insane. That's you're flying all over the world. And I think you can do Singapore as well. You can fly to Singapore. So Alaska has a lot of Asian deals, and I do look at them when it comes to Europe, but it almost seems like the American airline deal is for the same flight is a little better. So I would look at Asia. I would look at Hong Kong, and on Cathay Pacific. That would be that's what I'm going to try to use it for. YouTube experiment says Best Westerns hit or miss. Yeah, I can see that. Nicholas Oliveira. Wasn't sure about lounges until I had to be at the airport for 3 hours. Yeah, he went to the Sapphire and LaGuardia. Now he's a believer. Absolutely, man. Anytime you get stuck there, it changes the game. Ricky's travel hacking. Question about the Venture X. I noticed points posted a few days after transactions, which is nice. Is that the same case for the sub? I didn't get the sub for the Venture X, but I think so. I don't think you have to wait with Venture X for the sub. I don't think you have to wait for the statement to close. I think you get it pretty. If somebody knows, put it in the comments, because I didn't get a sub for the Venture X. I did a product change. Have you used Vacasa? I have not. I don't have any Wyndham points, and I don't have any Barclays cards, and I probably never will. Yeah, Chad Pennycuff said he got this sub before the statement cycle. Capital One's pretty quick with that. At what point or value is a cashback card better than a travel rewards card? Lance Jones. Let me give you a quick example because I don't want to get off on a tangent. And what I found is not to insult anyone, but I rarely find anyone who is willing to use the brain power to figure this out. If I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and I get 2 UR points per dollar for travel, and I book a $100 travel purchase, I'm going to get 200 Chase UR points. Now, when I go to redeem those Chase UR points, and I'm going to do it through the Chase Sapphire Preferred portal, I'm going to get 1.25 cents per point. And a lot of people are going to think that's great. Back up. When I make that $100 travel purchase, if I use a cash back card, that gets 5% cash back on travel purchases or any category. When I go to redeem it for cash, it's 5% cash. That same travel purchase that I got 1.25 points on 2 points per dollar, I got, I don't know why I did that. So 2 points per dollar, 1.25. What am I looking at? 2.5 cents per point per dollar I spent. See, or 5%. So it's twice as much on a 5% cash back card. I think where people lose the thought is, for some reason, everybody is interested in the earning rates, but not the redemption rates. And those two things are both equally important. If you're earning 2 points per dollar and you're only redeeming them for 1.25, you're getting 2.5 cents per point on your redemptions. You take that same purchase with a 5% cash back card, you're getting double the value, and you're not paying an annual fee for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Just an example, and that's probably not a great example, and I hope I didn't confuse anyone. And my whole thing about I don't everybody any redemption you get is great, but if you're not beating a regular cashback setup, then I don't know if you're doing great in the travel rewards game. Doesn't matter if you're doing great to me. It doesn't at all. If you're comfortable with earning less and redeeming for less, then you're still getting value, then great. There's just a better way to do it math wise. Apple activated balloons. Is that didn't oh okay. I like it. Um, yeah, Filmo says Best Western is pretty good. Let me see. So, Lance Jones, to answer your question, if you have to realize what you're redeeming and earning for to come out with a value of what you're getting per point. Compare that to a zero annual fee cashback card to see if you're beating that. And if you're not beating it, then what's the point? Besides all the benefits that come with a travel card. Can you do a video on the Capital One travel price drop protection? I'll look into it. I promise. JP Buffett's in the house. He says lounges are life changers, and he is correct. Guys, if you have not seen JP Buffett's channel, absolutely check it out. He's another guy you can include on the list that has a different perspective. And guys, I'm not right about everything, and I have a completely different perspective than half of these other guys. I like watching other people who think completely different than me and keep an open mind because there's a lot of ways to play this game. YouTube Experiment said they stayed at the Ace Hotel in New Orleans last weekend. They don't have any sort of point program, discounted rates though. Yeah, I've never seen the Ace, but I love New Orleans. Glenn Ardonia says he's going to be staying at the Best Western in Los Angeles next month. Well, I don't know a whole lot about Los Angeles, but I think that area is going to depend whether you have a great time. You don't know that Glenn Ardonia is a high level, what do you call it, executive security, master of the Filipino martial arts, and a military veteran and a tactician. So Glenn Ardonia is definitely going to be safe wherever he is. Let's hope it's a nice part of LA. If it's not, I feel sorry for anybody that bothers him. Jake C, do I feel like redemptions are getting worse and worse? I don't know about that, man. I think you have to find good ones. And I think if you're not interested in putting that time in and that brain power, that energy, then yeah, probably a lot of marginal redemptions. But is that a bad thing? You have to trade the brain power and the time and energy. So I don't think it's a bad thing if if you're getting 1.5 cents through the Chase portal all the time, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just don't think it's the best way. Sean Fetzko says he agrees that if the math doesn't math, it doesn't math, man. A lot of people just want the hotel or flight to be free, though. That's the other thing. And I don't want to get on a tangent about this either, but none of these redemptions are free. Every one of these points currencies has a value. And if you're in your brain thinking that I'm doing any of this for free, I think you're wrong because there's a cash value to every one of those points because you have the opportunity to earn cash back instead of a reward point. So none of it is free. Randy says, I just watched your video on Capital One transfer rankings. I have the Built MasterCard, Chase Trifecta, and I'm about to get married. Should I get a Venture X and the sign-up bonus? If you're asking me if you should get a card, the answer is always going to be yes. Do I think the Venture X is a great card for someone that travels at all? Yes. So I'm always going to say yes. Do I think that Capital One fits with those issuers? Yes, I do. I think the good thing about Capital One is it kind of just fits in. If you got the Venture X and the Saver One card, you don't have to use them all the time. but they do fit in if you want to really use them a lot. And I think that's where Capital One shines because you can have it as your primary setup, secondary, even tertiary, and it just works because the Sabre one's no annual fee. The Capital One Venture X, in my opinion, is annual fee neutral or net zero. Doesn't cost anything as long as you use it a little bit. So I always think it'll make sense. He wants points for his honeymoon. Do it, Randy. Get the Venture X. Use my link in the description below. Chombe's in the house. Hello, Uncle Luke and everyone here. Want to take my 2 kids and wife somewhere? Have enough miles for air and choice hotel points? There you go. Don't know where to take them this trip. We live in Seattle. Okay. I don't live in Seattle, but I think it would be really cool if you're an outdoorsy guy to go to Oregon. I had a buddy I grew up with move to Oregon for a little bit, and that's also where they filmed The Goonies. So I would think it would be cool to go to some kind of outdoorsy thing in Oregon. JP Knowledge, I think, just went to Oregon not too long ago, or anywhere up and down that West Coast, man. That's that everywhere on the West Coast, I think, is awesome. So anywhere but Seattle, man. It's probably raining there. Jay from the base says Alaska just updated their award charts. Yeah, they're not as good as they used to be. West Coast to Asia used to be 50K, and now it's 80. Yeah, all those points and miles are going to get devalued. So I just think you use them as quickly as you can. Oh, yeah. Sean Thurston has a great point. You can book the Vicasas with Capital One points. Yeah, good point. I forgot about that. I see. I'm the one of those people that Capital One is like my tertiary setup, my third one. So yeah, good point. Whoops. Randy wants to know if Capital One miles are good to transfer out to get us to Japan. I have to look, but I think the best way I've seen to get to Japan is American Airlines miles. Obviously, they don't transfer from Capital One, but I know Cathay Pacific can get you there. That's a tough one. I'd have to look because all the Japan trips I've kind of planned were with American Airlines or Japan Airlines with American Airlines miles. So I have to get back with you on that. And I don't redeem to Asia, so it's tough for me to right off the top of my head to look at that. Somebody in the comments, I'm sure. JP Knowledge just got back from Japan. He could tell you how he did it. JP Knowledge says you're 100% right about getting a cashback set up over the portal redemption with travel cards. The math makes more sense to get cash back and do with it whatever you want. People, for some reason, want to say that they're on a team. I'm team travel. I'm not that low level team cashback. You're not on a team. You're here to get value, and you're here to get value from your credit card spend, whether that value comes from cold hard cash or a magical point. It doesn't matter. Okay. Can you think back to a specific time or experience that made you feel like you officially stepped your travel game up? Here's the thing. I talk about this a lot. I got into this game heavily as a worldwide pandemic hobby. I wanted something that would keep my mind occupied and it would make me learn. What I found out was that this is a lot more rewarding than I thought it was. I knew I've flown Qatar Q Suites. I've flown Singapore business. I've done a lot of high level redemptions, but the first time I took my wife and all our kids to Miami, it was looking back, it was the simplest redemption you could ever get. It was during the pandemic, so we had round trip tickets from Delta for 10,000 sky miles apiece, 6 people. So 60,000 sky miles, and we got 2 rooms in South Beach at the Gale, which is a Curio Collection Hilton place. and it was not even in the greatest time of year. It wasn't even super hot, but I looked around and it was the last time everybody was together. So I realized at that point, this points and miles game gave me a special superpower. I can bring people together and I can make memories with people. And it was awesome. It was great. So that's probably when I figured out I've stepped my travel game up. And also, ironically, I went down there and didn't worry about any money I spent. And what I mean is, before I'm counting every dollar. Well, this room is $450. These flights, I got to do this. Maybe we eat here and not there. I didn't worry about any of it because the flights were covered. They cost $6 each. The room was covered. It was all on points, thousands of dollars in rooms on points. So I said, you know what? I don't care how much, the filet mignon costs. I don't care how much the adult beverages cost. That's when you truly step your game up. When the little things you don't worry about, you're just there to have a good time. Jake C says, I think the issue is that rewards are possible if time is not an issue, but it's not always possible to book 355 days in advance for the best redemptions. I'll push back a little bit on that. You can get last minute. You can get 14-day redemptions. I don't think that's a criteria for getting great redemptions. But I do agree, if you have to go on the 13th at 1 o'clock, you take what you can get. And that makes sense. Yeah, Sean says, no, that's free, man. Phil Mo says, get all the cards. I agree, Phil. Absolutely, man. John, I will go further, Uncle Luke. Travel isn't free at all. If you got 2 cards for the subs and got 120,000 points and you use them for a redemption, you paid for those points by spending money on the cards. You also paid that redemption because you could have just got cash back cards. Those are all those points are a currency. And no one has ever said it better than the BS podcast. If you're familiar, it's 2 younger guys, Sean and oh man, you have to watch the BS podcast. I don't know what this episode is called, but it has something to do with cents per point or travel being free. And the way Sean breaks this down was music to my ears because he did it way more eloquently and better than I ever could. And he made it to where a dummy like me could understand it. So find the BS podcast. Sean and Sherwin, and super smart kids. So look at that one. Randy says Capital One will be his tertiary setup. They're based in Miami. You're lucky. 27 with 6 credit cards, all paid full. Yes. Good job, Randy. I like your style. I like that you're from Miami. I wish I was from Miami. I might not look like a Miami guy, but I am a Miami guy, at least a South Florida guy. I might be from a different neighborhood. I don't know. But Miami is I like the music, the food, the mojitos, the whole Latin flavor deal. Miami is my jam. The family's worried he has too many credit cards. I'm the wrong person to ask about family. Because if anybody's yeah, well, I'm the wrong person to ask about. I'm not the best family guy. I have my family, but outside of that, I'm not the best family member. So I'll leave it at that. If my family was worried that I had too many credit cards, then here's how I see it. If they have a problem, well, that's their problem. We know better. We know better, Randy. Yep. No team is the best team. You're right. Team value. Team aspirational travel, team go to grandma's house, team whatever. It's all good. The only card that gets me American Airlines points right now is my Bilt MasterCard. Yeah, and their American Airlines is going away. So Posa says I think it makes sense to get 5 times cash back where you can and travel points where you can't. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. But 5 times travel points is where it's at. You're absolutely right. And here's the thing, guys. it's not a direct comparison. So if you can't say my 5% cash back is better than your 2 travel points, if you're getting 5 or 6 cents per point with those travel points, that changes the game. If you're getting low value for those travel points, you might be able to do better. Sorry, guys, I have a little bit of congestion tonight. Keith S says Virgin ANA with Capital One miles for Japan. Those are a little bit difficult to find, but yeah, you can use Virgin miles to book ANA flights and business and first class to Japan, and it's an all-star redemption if you could find it. Google it. There's a lot of guides how to do it. But if you can do that, you're big time. Seven Fallen Angel says, Luke, good going on the Redstone Visa. It's a monster of a cash. It is. It's unreal. People think it won't last or it won't stick around because it's too good. I disagree. Those credit unions are not supposed to turn a profit, so they're not worried about making a profit on your swipe fees. They're just trying to keep customers happy. Professor X says he really admires the hustle you make with your videos, Mr. Luke. Salute to you, Professor X. Thank you, sir. I like doing the videos. I like the community aspect of this whole game, and I like the conversations I have with these lives. That's why I do them. I really do like interacting with you guys, and I'm telling you right now, I learn more than you guys do. I learn a lot from you guys. JP Buffett says he agrees 100%. When I took my wife to London on points, that was when I was hooked. Using this hobby to create memories is the reason. It's like I'm old. I already have a lot of memories, so there's a lot of things I've done that I'm good with that. But to take someone like this October, when I take my 2 adult stepkids to Ireland, first time out of the country, I get to enjoy that with them. I get to show them Europe for the first time. That's almost priceless. It's really, really cool. And we're doing it with our nerdy hobby. It's a good time. Randy, how do I know if the Venture X and Capital One is better for me than Amex Platinum? I'm not in either ecosystem yet, but I'm looking at Capital One. Here's the thing, Randy. I don't think that the Venture X card competes with the Platinum card. And I'll tell you why. When I do my math with the Venture X, it doesn't cost me anything. I do have to redeem that $300 in the travel portal. And I'm not super excited about paying cash for anything with travel related, but it's not that big of a deal. So the Venture X doesn't cost me anything. Sorry. When I do my super conservative math with the Platinum card, it is a different animal, but I'm lucky enough that those credits work for me. And I have a video coming out on the Platinum card that you guys are really going to enjoy. It's not super serious, but the Platinum credits are not hard for me to use. So that is also almost kind of annual fee net zero for me. I think they're 2 different products. They have some similarities, but I think they can live together really easy. I think Capital One just kind of fits in with other issuers really easy. Stan the Credit Frog just hit me with a 5-spot big leaguer. Hey, Luke, would you book a destination work trip with cash, tax deductible, or would you use points and miles to book that trip instead? Stan, if you guys have not watched Stan, which I know you all have because he's big time now, but Stan has some of the best videos and a really awesome outlook on this whole game that's different than mine. That's why I like it. Plus, he's a really cool dude. Stan, I have had this conversation with my accountant on booking work trips with cash as a tax write-off. I think if I ever get to the point where I'm generating income at a level where a tax deduction would make sense, I think it's a great idea. Do I plan on doing that with cash? Yeah, I do plan on doing that with cash. Because I don't know if I can find an accountant that can kind of answer the question, hey, if I book this flight with miles, can I still write it off? I don't know of any accountants around here that can tell me for sure either way. So I think if it's just me and I plan on creating a lot of content or doing hotel reviews, I think I'm just paying cash. It's, and I think that makes sense because here's the thing. You understand and I understand, but a lot of people don't understand creating this content is work. Um, would it be really cool to go to the Maldives and video stuff all day? I I personally don't think that would be really cool, but that's work. So I don't mind spending the cash on that and then deducting it from any revenue I'm earning. Which let's keep it real. I'm not earning a ton of money, so I'm not really looking for tax deductions at this point. But yeah, I would definitely use cash. But you're the same way. We have full time jobs, so we have cash. A lot of folks are in this game to not spend cash at all, and I understand that too. Sendo asked me if my mic's off. I don't think so. Is my mic working? I hope so. Yes. All right. Jake C will ask, what cards am I looking to get now? I'm not looking to get any cards. I'm at the point where I've probably gotten close to 40 cards in the last 3 years. So I'm starting to hit the denials. So right now, I'm not looking to get any cards. I'm looking to downsize a little bit and I'm looking to product change a couple of them. And trust me, when I do the product changes, they'll probably be some of the more popular cards. So I'll probably just do a video talking about why I did it. And those are things that have the hamster running on the wheel constantly in my head, trying to tweak my setup. Because I'm at the point now where I'm 46 years old and I already have the travel setups I want. So they just need tweaked a little bit and maybe some complimentary cards. And I complement the travel stuff with 5% cash back cards. So if a great cash back card comes out, I might grab that. Like I just grabbed the Redstone Visa when I really don't need it, but I want to have that cash back option. Barbara, thank you for coming here. There's not a whole lot of females in the audience, and I appreciate any of them that are here. Is there a card that gives 5% cash back on non-category spend or all spend? Not exactly. If you were to use your UR points for cash, in theory, if you had a Chase card that earned 5 times UR points at a store that sold Visa or MasterCard gift cards, that could almost turn all your spend into 5% cash back. And what I mean by that is with the Ink Cash, Chase Ink Cash card, you can purchase fee-free Visa and MasterCards when they're on sale at Staples, and you'll earn 5 times UR points on that purchase, and you can use those debit cards, those prepaid debit cards for anything you want. So probably not practical for everything, and they do have a cap. The Chase Ink cards have a $25,000 a year cap. So I don't think I would do a ton of that. I do that, but not for everything. I do it for sometimes utilities, sometimes for other things that are really easy to spend on. Car insurance, property taxes. I just paid some car insurance with a one of these from Staples. And how I do it is they give me $1,000 car insurance bill. I pay $200 a day for 5 days. And again, those were fee-free from Staples while they were on sale. Lance Jones wants to know if City has any weird requirements because he got denied for a card. Lance, I had to apply 3 times for the City Premier, so I'm not sure. I know they're inquiry sensitive, so if you really want to get into City, I would lay off the inquiries and then go back at them. Randy wants to know if it's worth getting an American Airlines specific card over the Venture X. American is the biggest hub at the Miami International Airport. If you're going to get a Venture X, I would get it as early as possible. I think a few guys mentioned that once you get so many cards and so many open accounts and so many things like that, Capital One is not going to be interested in taking you on as a customer. I think in my opinion, I think the Venture X fits in almost anyone's system. So I would recommend almost anyone get it as early as possible. And I say almost because if you're not earning income and you're not spending money, that fee might not be a great idea for you to float until you get your value back. So not everyone, but anyone who who is going to travel at least $400 worth of travel a year, and paying that annual fee is not going to be too big of a deal for them. I know some people, if you paid a $400 annual fee, they might not eat that week. I'm quite sure you're not like that, but you know. Dino says, "Are there any JetBlue redemptions besides getting a card with JetBlue? Planning on going to? You can, yeah. JetBlue is a partner of a couple of different. They have, I know, American Express, but they have a wonky point transfer system. JetBlue is with who else, guys? Are they with Capital One? I guess you would know it if it was Capital One. I think they're with Citi. I don't know, but I would not get a JetBlue card for a JetBlue redemption. I know you hold the Venture X. I think the worst you could do is book it through the Capital One portal, or you could just book it with cash on your Venture X and use Capital One points to erase that purchase. You'd only be getting 1 point or 1 cent per point. That's the worst you can do, because I do know you hold that card. I would not get a JetBlue card unless you lived in New York or somewhere in the Caribbean and you could use it all the time. Randy asked, why did Bilt lose American? You want to know what I think? I think Citi is about to come out and shock everyone with a high level premier travel rewards card. And they're going to couple that excitement and that big league card with a new transfer partner that will be exclusive to Citi, and that will be American Airlines. Just my opinion. It's kind of far out there. So I hope so anyway, because I really like the Citi cards and the Citi setups. Oh, Volodymyr, I don't get what's so special about the gold card. Saver One's better and it's free. That's a big topic to talk about these days, and I don't think you're wrong. I do think there's only one gold card, and it does things that nobody else can do with 4 times on 2 huge categories, but I have my own issues with that card. Mr. Darkhawk, how do you feel about the Bank of America Premium Rewards card? I think Bank of America is great if you can be in their club or their what is it, $100,000 in assets with them. If you can be in that club and you can earn that extra cash back, I think Bank of America cards make perfect sense. I don't have that opportunity right now. So as someone who's not in their preferred earners club or whatever it's called, I don't think they have very competitive cashback cards at all. I don't have any of their cashback cards. So Michael Pythium, Luke, would you be interested in the Wells Fargo Signify business card when it comes out, being that you aren't looking for any new personal cards? I'll take a look at it. I'm not to the point where I'm chasing bonuses as much anymore, but yeah, I'll take a look at it. If it makes sense, I might get it. I'm really not interested in adding any annual fees to my setups, even for bonuses at this point. I am annual fee heavy in a big way. And I think until I kind of control that, I'm not going to be interested in taking another annual fee. And I'm also not super interested in getting into another ecosystem. I'm already in Chase, Amex, Capital One, and Citi, and Hilton, and several other hotel chains. I need to consolidate this a little bit to get it a little simpler. I like the complex variable stuff, but I think I need to bring it in just a bit. Jamie Kohea is coming in from Doha. That is so awesome. Traveling to Maldives and enjoying a one-night layover in Doha. Truly enjoying this points game. Jamie, thank you for stopping by. Doha is a super awesome airport. Great, great lounges. Jamie, make sure you post all kinds of pictures of that yellow bear at the Doha airport. Is it copper? I think it's a couple tons of copper or something. But thanks for stopping by, and safe travels. JJ said he had a product change to his Venture X, too many cards. I product changed to the Venture X, and I don't regret not getting the bonus. If you're in, Chad says, if you're in the travel card game, Venture X is a no-brainer. I agree. Only reason my player two doesn't have their own is that they hate managing cards. It's understandable. Matt Clausen says JetBlue is on City and Chase. Okay, so there you go. You have a couple of different options there. I don't know if you have any City or Chase cards, Dino, but they do have transfer partners. I would probably not get a JetBlue card. I would use a portal or pay cash or fly a real airline. Habisha Finances listening from the Conrad in Dubai. That is so awesome, Habisha. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a great time in Dubai. I've been to Dubai. I thought it was super. Me and Glenn Ardonio went to Dubai. We had a blast. We did a lot of cool stuff. Thank you for stopping by. Keith S. says he's not interested in City unless they come out with some good business cards. Man, they have the opportunity to do that. I really hope they do. All right, guys, it is 8:36, and I don't think I'm going to stay on too long tonight because I'm old and I go to bed at 9 o'clock. But if you could please hit the like button, I would appreciate it. And let me take any questions we have. And I want to go back here and make sure I at least touched on some of these community channel questions. Let me find it on my phone here real quick because it was a couple of days ago I actually posted, and there weren't very many, so we can probably get through these. Ivan Ochoa. Ivan Ochoa. Do you think Amex will ever introduce a 2% or 2 times MR card for non-business spenders? No, I don't think so. I don't think they have to. For the same reason, Chase won't do it either, unless they did it with the Ink Premier. But for the most part, Chase has people trained that 1.5x is good enough for them. Nick asked, how far of a drive is it to my home airport? He's got a regional airport 10 minutes away, but he has to drive a couple hours if he wants to go to a big one. About 30 minutes away from a smaller airport in Columbus, which I really do not like our airport, but it's not far. And I do have like a regional airport right down the street, but they only fly Allegiant and maybe something else, but it's like the discount. The discount carries that you're lucky you get there alive. Oh, here's a question. Have you ever gone to a Waldorf or high-end hotel and left disappointed? What things can you say or do to make your experience better? I was unhappy, I think, the last time we stayed at the Conrad in Fort Lauderdale because we were not offered any kind of upgrade. I think, and a lot of times I buy 2 rooms there, because I take people with me, and was not offered an upgrade, even though there was clearly upgraded rooms available. I don't really make that much of a big deal at the hotel. Like I asked, hey, are there any upgrades available? If they tell me no, I'm not going to argue with them. But I did have a little bit of bad taste in my mouth from that because we go there a lot. We spend a lot of points. We don't spend money there. Well, I guess we have spent cash there. But we spent a lot of money, a lot of points there. And there were Eric Connolly, Rickenbacker. Rickenbacker is right down the street from me. It's I live just a few miles south of that, so we have flown out of there before, and you can park like 50 feet from the door of the airport. It's a tiny airport, and I think they fly directly to Fort Lauderdale, or they have a couple of decent destinations, but we just don't fly Allegiant. Real quick, Jose Garza. Hey, Uncle Luke, I'm going to be taking a trip to Europe this summer And I saw that transferring Amex points to Delta is about 1.1 cents per point. I see YouTubers usually getting 2 to 3 cents per point and was wondering if it might be because the date I was looking at flights. No, Delta Sky Miles have a relatively low value to just about every other airline currency. Um, if you're getting the flights you want and you have the ability to earn enough Sky Miles to pay for them, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if you are looking to get much better value, I would just stick around and continue your research and continue to learn because you can get much, much better value than Delta Sky Pesos. Uncle Luke, what are some of your favorite, or I'm sorry, some of your cards you wished you applied for but are no longer open? We just talked about it. The City Prestige card. Wish I had that Joker. All right, we have one more question, but it's super long. And I think I'm just going to answer that one on the community page. So that is all the questions from the community page. And yes, it is recommended. We have some local people or some people with some Columbus, Ohio knowledge. Rickenbacker. If I could fly Allegiant, or if I was just by myself, man, that would be really convenient for me. I kind of wish they would get some real flights though. DP says he always found Miami area customer service to be lacking. That airport in Miami they don't bother me with the way they talk to people because I laugh and I think it's funny, but man, they really yell at people over there. Friends don't let friends fly Allegiant. Keith S., you're probably correct. I think we flew them once and we got there okay. It's just if you want to wear shoes, it's $13. If you want armrests, it's another $12. It's one of the really weird business model that I don't really enjoy. All right, guys, I am going to sign off here because it's Thursday and I got to get some sleep. I got to work tomorrow. We are almost to the weekend, guys. I thank every single one of you guys for showing up here, and even the ones from overseas. We got Dubai and Doha. That's big time. Appreciate you guys stopping by. All the super chats, guys. You guys really took care of me today. I appreciate that. Ricky says, "What would you consider a real flight for Allegiant?" I guess Fort Lauderdale is a good one, especially since it's direct. But I just wish they had more. I think our Allegiant goes to places like Destin and Pensacola, which isn't the Florida I go to. I like South Florida. Shaniqua. Hi, Uncle Luke. I'm thinking about product changing from the Marriott Boundless to the Ritz-Carlton. What are your views on the Ritz-Carlton? Shaniqua, I'm not a fan of the Ritz-Carlton card. Technically speaking and math-wise, it's a great card if you stay at Ritz-Carlton's or Marriott or you travel in the Chase ecosystem. I think it's a lot better card than the Marriott Boundless card. And if you're eligible for a product change, I think you'll definitely get tons of value. It's just not a card I'm interested in. Big E, thank you, sir. Matt Posa, thank you for stopping by. Chad says Legion's flight really bad when things go wrong. Yes, you're right. All right, guys, I will see you guys later. I will have a extremely funny, good video for you guys, I think, Saturday. It'll be a departure of what I normally do, but I think you guys will really, really like it, especially if you like the jokey type, not serious videos. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.